Shabbat Shalom. Please look at your song sheet and join us. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to see everyone as the days grow longer, a little bit more sunlight. Wasn't expecting the sunlight with all the fog this morning, but what a gift to be able to be outside a little bit and see that warmth and the light come through the windows. We'll break from tradition just for a moment. Take a moment to greet one another, wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Maybe turn around in your chairs, greet people nearby. Sort of knitting together our community between here and this beautiful sanctuary and our chapel. Folks joining us from their home sanctuaries online. Shabbat Shalom to all of you as well. We're on page 8. Begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. I'd like to invite up now Eddie Levine, who's going to light the Shabbat lights for us. Please join us.
Let us light these lights for the world tonight. Let our hearts unite in the light, in the light. Baruch atah Adonai. light, in the light, in the light.
That image of light, of joy, of the warmth of Shabbat, imagining ourselves gathered round our tables with friends, with family, or in a loving community of new friends, welcoming together this concept, this space, this time, this pause, this breath of Shabbat. Our tradition imagines Shabbat coming into our sanctuary, in through the doors, as if a bride dressed in white on a wedding day. So at the end of Lecha Dodi, this beautiful poem we sing each Friday night, we'll actually stand up at the end as a idea to welcome the Shabbat bride with us. And maybe the lucky person coming late to services who'll walk through the door will feel very special. And we will also feel lifted by their presence and by this idea, this spirit, this joy of Shabbat. Please turn to page 20 as we join in song.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nikabela. Pene Shabbat, Nikabela, Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, l'shemo echad, l'shem ba'ul-tiferet u'l'thilah, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelachar, ki hi mikor habracha, mirosh mikedem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Boi v'shalom, Ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Toch emuneh am segula, Boi kala. Shabbat, Nikabela. Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela.
Continuing on page 28.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach, le'olam va'ed.
On page 31, praying together in English. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadita. Alakein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachmeinu ufkumenu nasiach b'chukecha, b'nismach divrei toratecha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam aved, ki chem chayenu b'orach yameinu, uv'hem nageh yomam v'layla, nageh yomam v'layla. V'achavatcha al tasir, mimeno le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Avad.
Please be seated. Continuing with V'ahavta, page 36.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'chayu letotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
This week's Torah portion, Parshat Tetzaveh, spent a great deal of time and text, many words about the clothing that the high priest wears. The words in this section of Torah frame for us an enormous amount of energy and time and attention put into creating a sacred moment or a sacred space or a sacred individual that's going before God on behalf of the community. The words of Jonathan Swift were brought to my attention this week by a friend. He said, "Words are the clothing of our thoughts." Words are the clothing of our thoughts. How much time and attention do we put into the words that come out of our mouths on a day-to-day basis? When we need to say something important, maybe that's difficult to say, do we think about how we are framing our words? Do we take a difficult moment and make it a sacred one by putting intention behind it? At the shores of the sea, we uttered the words, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. How amazing are you, O God, before all the gods that are worshipped. Mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, clothed in holiness and splendor. Turning our attention to that spirit and those words, page 40, as we sing together.
While we're familiar with so many of our Ashkenazic melodies, tonight I'm sharing with you a melody of the Sephardic tradition. There's a beautiful piece of music called Cuando el Rey Nimrod. It's sung in Ladino. And tonight I'll be singing the Mi chamocha to this tune that is maybe not as familiar to all of you, but it is to our Sephardic and Mizrahi brothers and sisters. If you know the melody, please try to join in with me. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratihi lo tosef ele, noratihi lo tosef ele. Yai lai lai da 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 Are you ready to try it with me? Let's give it a try. Here we go. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, noratihi lo tosef ele, noratihi lo tosef ele. Yai lai lai da 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 lai 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 da 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 lai 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 da 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 lai da 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 lai 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 da 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 lai 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 da 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 lai da 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 da.
How beautiful.
They're Ladino now. They're Sephardim now.
Here we go. There are a lot of Sephardic traditions. I was just teaching Jordan one earlier. But
Oh, the Aleinu tradition.
the Aleinu tradition.
Ah, beautiful.
Ask me after.
Okay.
Page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace. Raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, the shelter of this prayer, Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Shomreinu Lichaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Shomreinu Lichaim Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Hamidenu shomreinu, shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu lishalom. B'hamidenu shomreinu, shomreinu lechaim.
As you are able to, I invite you now to rise as we turn towards the Amidah, our standing prayer, beginning on pages 46, 48, and 50.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufiai ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imachot, U'mevi Geula Livnei V'nechem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah, Ata gibor leolam Adonai mechayecha kol ata Rav lichoshia Mashiva ruach umorit hagashem Mechalkel chaim bechesed Mechayecha kol berachamim rabim Sohomet noflim verofech olim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato lishenei afar Michamocha ba'al gevurot Umidom melech Melech memit umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayech hakol.
Please be seated. Page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all peoples of the earth. Together, bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adonai lechol Shalom. Ki atahu melech Adonai lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amacha Tasim Leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ולכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We invite you into the journey of the heart and soul. Time for our thoughts and meditations, the prayers of our hearts. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to care for one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu. Ami Omar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Omar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Omar Elohechem, Nachamu. Ami Yomar Elohechem. Well, I hope you'll help me a little bit as we start tonight. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
That's good. Achashverosh.
Achashverosh who?
Gesundheit.
Ah, nice. Good.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tonight begins a Jewish holiday that most of us have probably not heard of or thought much about. Shushan Purim Katan. Anybody? Okay, good. You probably recognize the name of the holiday Purim, right? Purim. which we celebrate each year on the 14th of the month of Adar. While Shushan Purim takes place on the next day, the 15th of Adar, but generally not in our community. It takes place only in walled cities. What was a walled city? Shushan. What's a walled city today? Jerusalem. Very good. So then, on a leap year, like the one that we are in, 5,784, we have 2 months of Adar, Adar 1 and Adar 2. So on the 15th of Adar 1, which we begin tonight, we have the holiday of Shushan Purim Katan, the little Shushan Purim. And so there's things that you might do on Shushan Purim, like celebrate Purim, that you do to a lesser extent on Shushan Purim Katan, because it's the small version, right? It's like the Prius versus the Tesla. Doesn't go quite as fast, okay? Great. Well, I love the holiday of Purim, so I thought we'd talk a little bit about it tonight, because it's coming up. I love Purim mostly because it involves costumes, and who doesn't love a good superhero dress-up from time to time? But I truly love Purim because it is the dedicated time to purposely be happy and laugh. You have to do it. And this is a balm for our weary souls that desperately need such a thing to face the world that we live in today, a world we know is so very troubled. I remember back to when I was a child in the halls here at the temple, and the Purim Carnival would take place on a Sunday morning, usually near Purim, and my job in the youth group was to pop the popcorn. And I remember that Alice Licker, the religious school director at the time, would tell me, you can't start popping the popcorn too early because everyone will want to come out of the sanctuary because they'll smell the popcorn, and we can't start the Purim Carnival until after we've heard the Megillah be read, usually with cantor and rabbi dressed up on the bima, all sorts of fun. So I remember those moments, and I would always start the popcorn just a little bit too early because I like to eat the popcorn too. It's not widely known, but ancient Persia was where Eastern mysticism began. And it's thought that Mordechai was the person responsible for bringing these beliefs into Jewish mainstream. After Mordechai learned of the plot against King Ahasuerus and fingered out and singled out the would-be assassins, he became very afraid for the safety of Queen Esther. So he began praying for her, fasting 5 days a week, going barefoot and wearing sackcloth and ashes. When he did eat, he only ate grains and certain vegetables. Since Susa, or Shushan, was located in the foothills of the mountains of Persia, the ground was very rocky, and so Mordechai developed an impressive set of calluses on his feet. His constant fasting soon made him quite frail, and with his odd diet, he suffered from terrible breath. So Mordechai had become a super-calloused, fragile mystic, hexed by halitosis. There you go, the story of Purim. Okay, enough bad puns, I promise. The theme for this season of Adar, the month where we celebrate Purim, is Misha Nichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha. From the opening of Adar, we increase in joy each time, each day. This phrase is a directive that comes out of the Talmud, tractate Ta'anit, and it reflects Mordechai's announcement at the end of the book of Esther that the month of Adar, the month in which the Jews of Persia overcame their enemies, would be a month turned from sorrow into joy. The trajectory from heartache to delight is a pretty familiar framing in Jewish holidays. At Hanukkah, we light an additional candle every night, Marbim B'Kodesh, increasing our sense of holiness each day, in an appropriate way to celebrate the temple's rededication after its destruction. At Passover, we celebrate the journey upward too, trying to feel what it was to be enslaved, sometimes even dancing around our tables, singing Avadim hayinu, we were slaves, and then rising up to burst out into freedom, ata b'nei chorin. Now we are a free people, an effort to recognize the miracle of redemption. And at Sukkot and Simchat Torah, we celebrate Zman Simchatenu, a time of our ongoing rejoicing for bountiful harvest and shelter. The merriment we're supposed to have on Purim feels characteristically different, though, from these other celebrations. First, Purim's joy should be extreme, ad lo yada, which means party until you can no longer differentiate between good or evil. That feels a little scary, perhaps. And second, it celebrates overcoming something that leaves a deep knot in our guts, because tragically, we know that Haman's plot is too real in our world for Jews and also for other groups. An attempt to do away with an entire people has happened too many times. But I'm not looking to put a damper on the exuberance that we should create for Purim. To the contrary, I wish to propose that the opportunity for unbridled joy on Purim is a powerful and perhaps even therapeutic tool for us in our daily struggle against hatred of all kinds. How so? First, Purim, through its satire, is actually brutally honest. Its story bluntly illustrates the exact flaws we know to be true about our world. That there exist in every generation many rulers who are far more concerned with their own image and the preservation of their reign than they are with the welfare of the citizens in their care. Just like in the royal courts of Shushan, sexism abounds. That governments are often fraught with barriers and hurdles that create divisions rather than unity. That aspiring political leaders clamor for power over others by trying to control people's bodies and their freedom. And that evil, even when under disguise, is real. Seemingly in every age, a hateful villain, intent on inflicting violence, rises up against the Jews or another group. But in order to exist and persevere, we need the sustenance of joy in our lives. Purim helps us find joy when we would otherwise conclude all is lost, the world is gone. Purim becomes a practice, an exercise of lifting up and finding joy, of simcha, as a value in our lives. Whether it's the obvious simcha of a life cycle celebration, sometimes even we're so busy that we breeze through those, getting to the wedding at the last moment, or running over to drop off a meal but not staying after the baby was born. We're so busy, we're so consumed. Or the more easily overlooked simchas that we feel, from a simple moment holding a child's hand on the way into school, or a quiet afternoon sitting and reading our favorite book in the sun, or the relief that comes from a moment of profound healing, or a resolve for peace after a war. Tasting an abundance of joy on Purim helps us better identify the small moments of joy and lift them up each day. In the words of Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, finding true joy is the hardest of all spiritual tasks. If the only way to make yourself happy is by doing something silly, then do it. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs argues the existence of Purim in Jewish historical memory is in itself traumatic. But through its presence in our story, we're better equipped to confront the hatred and large-scale trauma that we might encounter. Sometimes as rabbis and Jewish educators and cantors, we wonder, should we tell the end of the Esther story when the Jews of Persia lash out and destroy others? Should we tell the gory details of our tradition stories? It's traumatic. Jewish tradition suggests that we practice the holiday of Purim in ways that bring us face to face with other people. These actions breed resiliency. There are 4 traditional mitzvot on Purim. 1, mishloach manot, giving gifts of food and treats to our friends. This action spreads joys to others by bringing us closer to our friends. Matanot la'evyonim, number 2, sending gifts of food and treats to our friends. Gifts and food to the poor and needy. Through acts of tzedakah, we reinforce our commitment to bettering the world on Purim, and we become more aware of the freedoms and privileges that we actually have and that we take for granted. Third, the Seudat Purim, a festive meal with the community, bringing people together. And lastly, Megillat Esther, the hearing of the book of Esther, the public hearing of the book, something else which must take place together. This particular commandment, I believe, holds powerful lessons for equipping ourselves to face future traumatic potentials. Through it, we learn that it takes just 2 people to defeat Haman when we hear that story. Esther, with her honesty, her political prowess, her talent for effective communication, and Mordecai, with his perseverance and firm commitment to his values. He only will bow to one God, no matter what. Through these individuals and their teachings of strongly held beliefs and honesty, the Jews of Persia are saved. Biblical scholar Adele Berlin astutely points out that the genius of the book of Esther isn't just in the characters themselves, but in the larger use of comedy in its genre. Berlin writes, "The book of Esther is the most humorous book of the Bible, but its inclusion in the biblical canon serves to suppress its most plausible and powerful reading." Purim is a powerful tool because it offers therapeutic laughter when we need it most. The book of Esther is at its core a farce, with sections poking fun at the Persian court that fall into the category of burlesque. The evil of Haman is disarmed by much humor, as it is by anything else. For example, in chapter 6, King Ahasuerus asks Haman to describe how the man whom the king desires to honor should be celebrated. "Haman, how should we celebrate you?" Haman responds, assuming he would be the chosen one. He suggests that the honoree should be paraded through the city on a horse, wearing royal garb and carrying the royal diadem. Ahasuerus then commands to Haman, "Great, then go get the garb, go get the horse, and put Mordecai out there, that old Jew who sits at the gate. Omit nothing you've proposed." It's humorous. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Vashti.
Vashti who?
Wash the dishes and I'll give you a hamantashen. Especially in a world that we know is too often torn by violence and pain, it's important to still be able to laugh. Rabbi Sachs, in writing about Purim, shares a story of a Shoah survivor whose strategy for making his way through the terrible life in Auschwitz hinged on a pact that he made with a fellow inmate to look out each day for some occurrence that they found amusing, and at the end of that day, tell one another this story and make sure to laugh together. That sense of humor saved my life, he said. Laughter such as this, the laughter that we can find in the joy of Purim, the laughter that we can find in the little missteps that take place in a day, the laughter we can find at the bedside of a dying loved one when we recall a moment of their life that they would laugh at too. Laughter such as this helps us make the world whole, affords us a chance to sample just for a second what it might be in the world to come. Practices of laughter therapies, even laughter yoga, have shown that our body's physiological responses can't distinguish the difference between planned laughter and spontaneous laughter. It sounds silly, but to laugh makes you laugh. The uplift we feel, the endorphin release, is the same. When we laugh, we gain strength, we build wholeness. When we laugh, we're usually in the presence of others. And through moments of joy, of laughter, of community, We become better able to take the small but powerful steps to make the brave and honest choices, even when it's difficult, like Esther and Mordecai did, that allow goodness to triumph over evil. And we also give ourselves an emotional strength to stand by our brothers and sisters of all faiths, those who appear different to us in their times of mourning and sorrow, just as they do for us. In this month of Adar, pause the news feed for just a moment. Allow yourself to laugh, even while we confront that hatred abounds. Tomorrow we mark 2 years of the conflict in Ukraine. How could it have gone that long? Come this month and hear the story that confronts evil with unbridled joy and humor, and be with the community in a way that allows us to envision the world to come. Together on Purim, we'll confirm the belief that the power at work in the universe favors life and favors peace. Amen. Okay. Affirming our commitment to bettering the world, we rise on page 282 for the prayer Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Page 253, with the strength of this community and being together, we offer blessing for healing for those in need. In particular, tonight, we are thinking of Adele Adler, David Case, Bonnie Chiswick, Barry Cott, Jackson Curti, John Goodman, Maddie Jefferson, Liv Miller, Richard Moore, Edith and Levi Rubenstein, Walter Schwartz, Bob Shippey, and Shana Bat Yosef Verachel. Other names you'd like to bring into this space of prayer for healing? Offering the prayer together in song on 253.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and
thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. Tonight, we join in the reading of fallen soldiers in the IDF in recent weeks. Tonight, we remember Captain Lael Hayo, Captain Harel Sharvit, Captain Gavriel Shani, Captain Yarin Gahali, Captain Rotem Yosef Levi. In our community, we recall individuals laid to rest in this last week, in particular Phyllis Kalk. Those laid to rest in the last 30 days, Oleg Grinberg, Harold Levine, Terry Lynn Zirkin, Joan Olson, Margie, and Heller. And this week in our community, we remember the yardsites: Lenore S. Amster, Ann Angart, Dr. Morton L. Engel, Norma Arsham, Madeline H. Baker, William Benson, Saul S. Biskin, Beatrice Deachis Cohen, Bernard R. Cohen, Joseph J. Copenhagen, Wendy Jo Dannenhirsch, Max Duchon, Isidore Eisenman, Nelson Friedman, Bernice B. Gans, E. J. Garson, Belle Bloom Gellner, Pauline L. Glick, Mildred M. Goldstein, Henry J. Goodman, Louis N. Luke Gross, Constance M. Haber, Moses W. Haber, Hortense C. Hill, Henry H. Hirsch, Ann Horwitz, Ruth Jacobs, Arthur Keller, Stanley S. Keller, Francis Kerner, Jean S. Klein, Lena E. Klein, Arthur Paul Korrick, Robert Ruby Levine, Sanford Liebhaber, Lieutenant Earl M. Lieberman, Abe M. Luntz, Samuel M. Mann, Fanny Markman, Samuel L. Meldon, Erwin H. Milner, Dr. Morton Morgenstern, Lizette Ritter Myers, Robert B. Myers, Christine Palady, Michael Allen Poller, Kim Penn, Anna Wershafter Rich, Helen Salvin Rose, Henry Rose, Charles Rosenfeld, Lenore S. Roth, Rose Rosenthal Schoenberger, Molly Rocker Schoenberger, Monroe Schwartz, William Schwartz, Edward Day Schweid, Dina Silver, Yetta Spiro, Emmanuel N. Stern, Robert Stone, Dora Marks Strauss, Catherine G. Strauss, David Stromberg, Norman A. Sugarman, Sanford M. Tolchinsky, Leo Wiedenthal, Sam Weitz, Blanche Weiner, Sidney S. Wolf, Dr. Irwin E. Yolson, and other names that I've omitted or misread. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. To honor those who are in mourning, we invite all those who've had a recent loss in the last week to please rise. All those in the last 30 days of Shloshim to please rise. All those observing Yahrzeit tonight as a community to please rise. And we join together with you in strength as we offer the Kaddish praise on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Shechianu moments?
I think we should.
Okay.
Please be seated.
Please be seated. Yes, thank you. Do you want to lead the Shechianu moments?
Well, I'm wondering if anybody has something special that's happened maybe this week or
That's right.
anyone?
Exciting firsts,
A birthday? An anniversary?
please.
Tomorrow is really exciting news that I'm starting my artwork at Summer Scala.
Very
Wonderful.
nice. Mazel tov,
Amazing.
Blaze.
Mazel tov.
Is anybody else? Can anyone top Blaze's good news? All right. Well, just
Shall
being
we-
here with you.
Being
it's
together.
so nice.
Yeah. Shall
You know,
we sing?
does everyone know that Rabbi Utley grew up here at this temple? I know he told you the Purim story. Oh, his parents know. Okay, good. Well, mazel tov to the Mama and Papa Utley for really such a beautiful service tonight, Rabbi Utley. Thank you. Let's
Thank
sing
you.
together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיבלנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Maybe there is one more Shehechianu, Rabbi. You are going to Israel soon. Can
Next
you-
week, on
when-
Sunday.
When and why? What's going on?
I will be traveling to Israel Sunday to join the Foundation for Jewish Camp Directors education trip. We have many staff members from Israel and campers perhaps also this summer from Israel. Maybe you've heard, but there's a movement growing to bring campers who've been children who've been displaced from the war, children affected from the Gaza envelope communities
Wow.
to American Jewish summer camps, and Camp Wise will likely be hosting some. So we're going to learn about that process and learn how Israel will be present and in different ways this summer in our camps. So I'll
And-
be there next week.
And I'm not sure if everyone knows, but you're the director of Camp Wise.
Yes, they know.
They know? Do they all know? Did everybody know? Oh, not
Probably at
every.
this
No,
point.
see, there's 3-4 people who did not know.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
in order to wish you a safe and wonderful and fruitful journey, Tzeitchem l'shalom,
you.
Boachem l'shalom, Tzeitchem l'shalom. But let's join together. Let's sing for Rabbi Utley a prayer for a safe travels.
Thank you.
And if you look on your handout, there's a prayer called Tefillat HaDerech, the Traveler's Prayer. You can sing too, Rabbi, if you want. Sing for yourself. May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May you be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. Safest travels to you.
We move now to Kiddush and Motzi. I'm curious if anyone under the age of 10 wants to join us for Kiddush and Motzi up at the front and have some challah along with me and Blaze. You guys want to join us? Have some challah? Come on down. Awesome. We are on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzanu v'shavat kodsho v'yahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra hekodesh zeichel etziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabat kodshecha behava uvratzon hinchatanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
Will you guys help me? We hold it up together.
Thanks for being so brave.
Awesome.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, let's have you tear off a piece. You want a piece? That was worth it.
Awesome.
You take that. You want some?
All right. We're gluten-free, right? No. Okay. We're good.
All right, thanks, guys.
Very
Here,
good.
Blaze, you want some?
Awesome. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Okay, thank you, honey.
Shabbat shalom.
Mwah. Okay.
Thanks. Please rise. As we, page 374, we're closing tonight with the words of Hatikva, the national anthem of the state of Israel.
Kolot balev benima, nefesh Yehudi homiha, ulefate mizrach kadima, ayin litzion tzofia, odolov dal tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot almayim, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים.
With hope in our hearts for peace in this country, in the state of Israel, in all lands, we ask for God's blessing on us, on all families. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, may God's light shine upon you, may God be gracious to you. V'yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom, may God be known to each of us in the way we need, and may God grant all of us peace. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.